So you have stayed in South Korea for a week, and what was your overall impression of South Korea and your visit?
Actually, my overall impression about South Korea is such a big nation that has developed so much. And also I have seen that before, in the 1960s, Korea was backwards, but then now Korea is one of the leading nations, which I think it is something that all we must learn from Korea, that everything is possible through God.
So you worship God in Yonsei Central Baptist Church on Sunday and on Wednesday. What was your impression about our church?
I can just say I was very impressed by the worship, and I can see how dedicated the members are. And what I have seen is that it's like Koreans worship God in another way. The worshiping is at a very high level. I was very impressed.
A church choir, and as you told me before.
Yeah, the church choir was excellent. Like I said before, if I wanted to join them in singing, but I could not. But even then, I was richly blessed by their singing. And what was the most wonderful thing is there were subtitles of English underneath each line. Then I could understand what was going on. The choir was impressive.
Okay, so can you also talk about offering ushers and how they are organized? And
well, that one is so amazing, looking at the size of the church and the number of people. But offering time was done in such a short period that I am still amazed. And the ushers, they are all organized. You could see by the time they take the offering, and when they go down to put down the bags, that was really nice and it shows it's a sign of excellence.
how about preaching of Senior Pastor Yun?
Preaching was a cherry on top. I think you understand what I mean. His preaching, I was very impressed about his preaching. And what I've noticed is always in his preaching, he's preaching about repentance and going to heaven. You know, it's like everyone should go to heaven. And I will not forget the day when he was preaching about hell, that in hell there is no door. Once you get in there, you are locked in. So it is important for us all to talk about the gospel of Jesus Christ.
You have visited a few corporations in Korea and had meetings with people. So what was your impression about it? What did you feel about your visit to corporations and 새마을 movement, center, etc.?
Yeah, I was really impressed visiting the corporations and the hard work that I have seen. And also I was very impressed to even see how an automobile is assembled from almost starting point to the finishing line. I was really, really encouraged to see that.
And how about POSCO, the steel company?
Oh yes, that one. I have visited some steel companies, but I didn't see something near POSCO. Okay. They are so excellent. Everything they are doing, from the tour, you could tell that the person who was taking us through the tour is someone who knows what she was talking about. I was really, really impressed.
Okay, how about Samsung Electronics?
Samsung, I kept on saying Samsung is the best. What I saw in Samsung, I saw a well-designed museum that you could see from long time ago up to now what has been happening in the world. I am grateful to Pastor Yun that he could organize that I go to see Samsung, such a great company.
So how are you going to do this after you go back to Swaziland? And is there something that you learned from Korea and maybe you can adopt to Swaziland?
Well, yeah. Each time we travel, you must look around and see what you can learn from wherever you have gone. What I can say is this Center for Development is one thing that I am eager that we learn as fast as possible, because this is how Korea changed to what Korea is today. So that one I will also look at the video and see and remind myself as to what was happening. That is a must do. And also what I have seen here is in the church, there is so much excellence in the organization of everything, such that young children do not disrupt the church services. Mothers with small children have got their own corner where they sit with their kids while service is going on, and they are also benefiting from the service. I have never seen such before. It is something worthwhile to copy.
Well, is there something different or similar between Korea and Swaziland? Have you noticed anything, like any difference or any similarity between Korea and Swaziland?
Well, I can just say there are similarities in the people. Koreans, I've realized, are very respectful. So are Swazis. So this is the similarity we have. Another thing I have seen is that Korea is much, much more developed than Swaziland. Swaziland is nowhere near Korea. What I have seen also is that in this church, if I can talk about this church, I have seen a high level of commitment by the Christians in this church. You know, when it's church time, it's church time. Everyone is just there, and people do attend services, even midweek services.
It's not like this in Swaziland. They only come to services on Sundays?
No, they do come on weekdays, but not in large numbers.
Okay.
Yes.
His Majesty invited Pastor Yun to preach in Thanksgiving service to God last year, and also Pastor Yun has been to Swaziland twice. So have you noticed any difference since Pastor Yun visited Swaziland and preached the word of God?
Well, I can just say the 2 times Pastor Yun has come to Swaziland, he was greatly welcomed by both the ordinary people and as well as the people who came to the palace for the end of year services, the Thanksgiving services. What I have noticed is that people, they love to come to church. They love God. They realize that without God, there is nothing.
So they are more committed than before.
Maybe I can say that, but you know, it's a difficult question.
Yes,
because
it's
I don't know what I can say, but all I know is, you know, he was preaching such that people were even asking me, because they saw me going with him together with His Majesty, asking me, where did this preacher come from?
So have you noticed any difference in pastors in Swaziland?
Well, I don't, it's only my pastor that I see often.
Okay, yes.
The other pastors, I will not talk on their behalf because we rarely meet together.
Okay.
Yes. But
So,
what I know is I've heard that other pastors come and say they have been here and they go back to Swaziland and they have been blessed by the Lord.
and also his preaching was broadcasted through national
It
program.
was.
It was, right?
Yes, it was
So
on
many people
national
watched
TV.
it.
Yes,
Yes.
a lot. In fact, it's like all Swazis who've got TVs, they did watch his
Okay.
preaching. They were really blessed.
Accomplishment or achievement that you
Through
have
my
made.
visit.
Yes, through your visit. But as a nation, as a Swazi nation, and as a minister, and as a person.
Well, I have really accomplished a lot because the meetings I have had, you know, they were pointing to a right direction between our 2 countries. I believe this visit will make Swaziland and Korea cooperate more in a lot of things. So as a minister, as a government official, I feel a lot is going to be happening between our 2 governments.
So what was the meeting with Governor of Gyeonggi Province? And what did you feel? Yes.
I felt like this meeting was strengthening our relations even more, because we do have relations, yes, but then relations need to be strengthened. So this meeting this morning with the governor was really another way of strengthening our relationship. And looking at the high-powered delegation he was with, I am looking forward, and I know we are going to cooperate even more now.
So would you be a little bit specific about this? Like, for example, one of officials from central government, and he mentioned about like he's gonna make a phone call to ambassador in South Africa, and maybe you will.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. Yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
this is why I'm saying it looks like I know this is a beginning of strengthening of our relations, because the person from central government did promise to call the Pretoria office so that we can hook up together. And I also promised that I will, as a minister, call the Pretoria office so that we can see how far we go with these issues that were discussed in the morning.
Okay. So is there anything that you would like to say to Pastor Yun and congregation before you leave?
Yes, of course. First of all, I would like to thank Pastor Yun very much for the invitation. And also, I would also like to thank very much him and the congregation at large for the warm welcome I received and the love I could see. I could feel that they are such a loving congregation. I thank him a lot, as well as the congregation.
What was your impression about our church?
I was very impressed with the level of worship, the way the church worships, and the professionalism that I saw. It was just awesome, and I was blessed to be in this church.
Is there something that you'd like to say to Pastor Yun and congregation?
I would like to thank Pastor Yun, his wife, family, and also the church at large for the warm welcome to Her Royal Highness, the Princess, and myself. They've been so good to us, and we also want to thank them for the love they showed. They just took good care of us. We felt in home, away from home. We really had a good time, and we would like to say thank you so much, and may God bless you.
So what do you think? And do you want to go back to Swaziland, or you wish that you have a little more time to stay in Korea? What do you think?
Of course, I really enjoyed myself here, but home is home. I have to go back home. Otherwise, I really had a wonderful time in this church and throughout Korea.
As you may read in the newspaper, and there has been tension between North and South Korea. Especially North Korea has developed nuclear weapons, and because of this, and there may be some troubles and tensions between South and North Korea. So we sincerely would like to request to His Majesty and Swazi as a nation that you actually support South Korea instead of North Korea.
Yes, I shall say that to His Majesty, but rest assured, Koreans should rest assured that Swaziland will rally behind South Korea at all times. I will also pass this message to His Majesty.
So we, Yonsei Central Baptist Church, and pray to the Lord that the Lord richly blesses Swaziland, and Swaziland becomes very rich and blessed nation by God, and Swaziland and all the Swazis enjoy prosperity and blessing given by God.
Thank you.
감사합니다.
Thank you so much.
감사합니다.